This is Kugan Cassis for IFLT in association with MTK Global. We're in New York ahead of tomorrow night's fight night from the Hulu Theatre in Madison Square Garden. Delighted to be joined by Amanda Serrano.
Hi.
How are you?
Feel good now that I have some food in me.
All weighed in and
Yes,
ready to go?
Yes, ready to go. I feel excited. I'm pumped. Breaking another record, making history once again. And one night in beautiful MSG, I won my 2008 Golden Gloves here. So it's come full circle. I'll win another championship.
So this will be your seventh.
Seventh division. No, yes, yeah, seventh division. Yeah, I still have little diet brain. Yeah, 7 divisions.
How does this compare, fighting for your seventh, to when you compete for your first world title?
Well, it's a lot different now because now I want to leave a legacy in the sport. When I first won my first one, it was just like, okay, it's a world title. It wasn't that meaningful because I never thought that this is where I would be, a female boxer. Never did I even imagine becoming a world champion. Wasn't in my thoughts, wasn't in my future. And now to become a 7th division world champion, fighting for it, I'm gonna be a 7th division world champion. It's just amazing.
The opportunities from probably that first time you fought for a world title to this have become a lot more vast in women's boxing. That's clear to see over the last 2 or 3 years. More exposure, more women turning pro. So the state of women's boxing today is in a very healthy place.
Yes, it is in a very healthy place. But I still had to struggle to get my feet in the doors. It wasn't easy, and it's still not that easy for female boxers. And I had to struggle. I had where I was fighting for $1,500 or $1,000. I never had a silver spoon fed to me. So me and my sister, we fought for practically nothing, even for world titles. So, we literally had to fight our way up, and just to be now with Matchroom Boxing and The Zone, and always with my promoter, DeBella, it's just a nice light at the end of the tunnel for female boxing.
How long have you been professional?
Well, 10 years now.
10 years.
12 years total boxing. This is my 10th year. It'll be 10 in March.
Obviously they say hindsight's a wonderful thing, but if your career was kind of starting in kind of this era as opposed to kind of 10 years ago, then financially you would have been in a better position, obviously.
Oh, yeah. It's exciting time now for female boxing, and I'm always encouraging young girls, if they want to pick up the sport, now is the time to do it, because back then it was like so hard just to even get on cards and to actually show that you have talent and you have skills. It was just really hard. Now we're able to see it on platforms like The Zone, where they showing women's boxing, and you see that there are talented women out there. We put butts in seats, and we're selling tickets, and we're doing what we have to do to promote the fights, and it's just awesome experience now for female boxing.
What memories do you have of years ago when it was a struggle and it wasn't getting the recognition it perhaps deserved, and you were struggling to get on cards, like you're saying, fighting for not a lot of money? What do you kind of remember from that time?
I remember getting phone calls for, oh, you want to fight this girl? She wants to fight you for $500. I'm like, $500? Are you serious? Or fighting one of the toughest girls I fought. She's a world champion now for Tuma Zarica. I fought her twice for $1,500. She's a world champion. We went the distance, and it was a hard fight. After the first one, we was like, okay, maybe we'll get more money. No, it was still $1,500, and I was like, well, when is it gonna get better? And then I was signed with DeBella, and he started, opening doors for me, and then now it's just a lot better with The Zone. They in Matchroom Boxing, they paying what females deserve, which is a great thing.
Do you find, because being a fan of boxing, and that's not specific to men's or women's, just boxing in general,
that's good.
I find that speaking to some people, it doesn't matter what they're watching. They're watching it with a mask that won't allow them to enjoy a woman's fight. And that's the kind of attitude they have regardless of what happens.
Yes, some people do that, and it's not fair for us female boxing. I mean, we're doing the same thing, and I hate saying it. It's like obvious. Yes, we're getting punched in the face. You know the stuff that I had to endure to make 7th division, like going down to 115 pounds, all the way from 140 pounds. My last boxing fight, I won a championship at 140. Going down to 115, the damage I had to do on my body, the sacrifices I had to make to do it. And people don't realize it. You know, we're girls, you know. Our bodies are made to bear children. So we don't have the same, you know, stuff that the men do. So it's just a lot harder for us. And we're running the same amount of miles that these guys are doing. We're punching the bag, we're sparring. It's just like, when is it going to be not just female and males? When is it going to be just boxing?
I mean, Eddie Hearn always talks about it, and he always kind of says the same thing, that don't look at it as a woman's fight and put a tag on it. Just look at it as a fight.
Yes, exactly. You can see the talent that we have. You know, we're throwing the same punches. And honest to God, I believe some of the females that I've seen look better than some of the men that they put on TV. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I could be there, or my sister could be there. Like, any of these talented women can be up there. And then they want to show men. I don't know.
It's quite interesting that you and your sister Cindy obviously fight professionally. Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with your sister. I'm assuming you are close.
No, we're extremely close. It's because of her I started boxing, obviously. I mean, when she started, I was 12 years old. Always in the gym with her, watching her, you know, her success. And when I turned 18, I decided to actually go through with it and actually fight. It took me a while because I seen her struggle, and she tried to persuade me. Her and my trainer tried to persuade me not to do it, because they knew it was hard, especially that time for female boxing. There was no future for them. So he was like, no, don't do it. But now that I'm 7th division world champion, he would never say that. But you know, we're so close. Like, we're great sparring partners. She motivates me, I motivate her. And right now, I can't wait to go home. She made me baked ziti. That's our routine. Every time I fight in New York, she makes me baked ziti with garlic bread.
What is that?
And baked ziti, never had baked ziti.
I've never heard of it.
It's pasta.
Oh, pasta. Okay.
Yeah, so ground beef, meat in it with cheese, and it's delicious. Like, can't wait to go home.
I notice you talk about food a lot as well, Amanda. So, at what point, kind of, when you were young, did you actually realise that this is what I was going to do, or you were going to do?
Never. It's like I said, when I was 18, I decided to actually go through with it. When my sister started fighting, I was 12, 13 years old in the gym. I had my first job at a boxing gym, and I would just see the people come and go, and I've gone to a lot of fights, and I've seen fights. But actually, when I decided to do it was when I was 18. I signed up for the Golden Gloves. The same exact day I signed up, it was the same day I started training.
Does it seem like a long time ago now?
Now it does, yeah, because the struggle of boxing, and I've been doing it. It feels like such a short period of time, but it's been such a long time. But I've been just dedicating my life. Like, I sacrifice everything. I don't have a phone, don't have a boyfriend. I don't. This is my life. I don't go out to drink. I don't smoke. This is my lifestyle.
Did you say, sorry, of all those things you said you don't have a phone?
That's the funny. Everyone stops and says, you don't have a phone? I said, I never had a boyfriend, never, and that's the only thing people stop at. I never had a phone. No, I don't have a phone. I believe that I don't want any distractions in my life, and phones, like, you see people walking down the street bumping into cars, bumping into wars, and I'm like, I don't need it.
So, do you mean you don't have a phone when you're in camp? Or
No, at all.
At all?
At all.
So how does someone get hold of Amanda Serrano?
They have my manager's number, my trainer's number, and that's where I have a landline at home. But they go through my manager and emails.
That's crazy. That's more crazy than the boyfriend one.
I know. People can't live without their phones. Apparently I can.
Well, obviously, if you get by, then... What about your sister? Does she have a phone?
She has, because she has 2 kids, so
Fine.
she needs it for school and stuff like that.
Okay. I find that very interesting. Eva Boraberger this weekend, tomorrow night, shall I say? They were saying at the press conference she's a champion in her own right. Lulu used that expression, so did Eddie Hearn. But talk to me about this challenge tomorrow.
Well, I'm happy that she took the fight. Unlike the champion, she didn't want to fight me, so it became vacant. So Eva said she'll fight me, and I'm glad that someone actually took the fight. I'm glad that I'm fighting for my 7th division. And I mean, she's a tough girl. I mean, if she's coming to fight me in my hometown, Madison Square Garden, she has to have something in the bag. So that's how I see it. I see she knows something about me, maybe that I don't know for myself. But I know she's gonna come try. All girls, you know, we fight with our hearts on our sleeves. So she's gonna come and try, but it's gonna be an easy night for me. I'm hungry, and I just want to go right through her.
We heard you say that. That was a
I'm going to go through her like my favorite burger in Jackson Holes.
I'm from the UK, as you can tell probably from the accent.
You definitely can.
And I appreciate your fighting tomorrow night, so the talk of any other potential fight, regardless of who it is, but I do need to ask you about a fight that you've been linked with for a long time that is potentially going to happen this year with a certain Miss Katie Taylor.
Of course, Katie Taylor. I'm just concentrating one fight at a time. Right now, Vero Burger's in front of me, and I got to go through this fight. Making 115, coming down from 140. That's my concentration. This whole camp was nobody but the 115-pound championship. And when that comes, whenever that fight comes along with Katie Taylor, then I'll be glad to talk about that fight.
That's fair enough. How do you do that with the dropping of the weight like that? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I had actually my MMA coaches, because I am an MMA fighter as well. They came down from California, and they helped me with this weight cut. He's also a nutritionist, so he cooked for me for the last 3 weeks. The last week and a half, I was vegan. So that's why I want that burger so bad. So yeah, I was learning new stuff about my body and learning new stuff about food intake. So yeah, and it was pretty easy. I didn't have to starve myself. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, when you sound it from what weight you were to what you're fighting at, or made weight at today, it sounds like a really dramatic amount of weight. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not a big girl. I'm a little girl, so. It was easier actually for me to lose the weight than to gain the weight. It's at 140, because I was eating up a storm and it still wasn't going 140.
So, you obviously have a very good relationship with Lou DiBella, who's firmly in your corner. So, I like hearing kind of between Eddie Hearn and Lou DiBella the back and forth.
I love them. They're so funny. Like, they're always throwing cheap shots at each other, but then they come together and they're making a great night of fights tomorrow night, and they're both working together for me and a couple of fighters, and I'm so happy to have Eddie Hearns and Matchroom by my side as well.
Did you know his name was Eddie Hearn and not Hearns? Did you know that?
No, now I know something. See, learn something new every day. But everyone calls him Hearns with an S.
In America they do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you know how many fighters I've told, just drop the S because that's not his name, and they won't believe me. They'll be like, no, really? His name is Hearns. I'm like, no, it's actually Hearns.
Now every time I say it, now I'm going to have to remember
Keep saying it.
No, he's my promoter.
He's used to it. He says he accepts it, that everyone calls him it. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, night before the fight, what's your kind of plan for tonight?
Tonight, just like I said, eat that big ziti my sister made for me, and enjoy a nice little pint of ice cream, and just enjoy with my family. That's what I do. I have a room here in the city, but I'm gonna go back home, and that's where I feel comfortable at, and just enjoy the night.
Are you going to go back to MMA at some point, or?
Yes. Hopefully, in April, I will have another MMA fight.
Because that's a thing in itself, kind of you crossing between the two.
Yeah. I mean, it was a jump because I was a little disappointed in boxing because we wasn't getting the recognition and wasn't getting the pay. And then now that I have two MMA fights under my belt, now I'm actually starting to love it like I do boxing. So, like, it's not, I don't want to just let it out of my life. I want to continue to work on it and continue to be the best that I can be in MMA like I did in boxing.
Amanda Serrano, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and wish you the best of luck tomorrow. And hopefully we'll grab a word with you after your fight tomorrow night.
Yes. Hopefully it'll be a fast fight. So.
All right, we shall see. Thank you very much.
No problem.